child and then rebreeding their offspring until the day when eventually he managed to breed the Superman who was predicted by all their occult theories.
Hitler proclaimed, "Humanity accomplishes a step up every 700 years, and the ultimate aim is the coming of the sons of God. All creative forces will be concentrated in a new species. It will be infinitely superior to modern man."
All that had to be done was the Aryans had to repurify themselves in order to restore their magical powers and therefore restore their original identity of being the God-men.
The breeding stock was Himmler's SS. He recruited only the strongest, best conditioned, and what he considered the best looking young men. Tall, blonde, and blue-eyed. These future warriors had to be well educated and only from families of pure Aryan heritage.
The SS had been generally rather tall, well-made men, warriors. Now, this, Himmler did decree this for the SS in so much as they should all be 5'9" tall. Himmler was 5'9" tall. In addition to their size, they had to be of pure blood. Now, for the officers, they had to prove pure German ancestry without interbreeding back to 1750.
Himmler's SS, at one point 3 million strong, were encouraged to father as many children as possible, regardless of their marital status. The SS, he told them, had a sacred duty to their nation and to their Führer to beget healthy Aryan babies.
One of Himmler's ideas concerned polygamy. The only way in which he could breed the master race ever faster was by, in fact, instituting the practice whereby SS men would be able to take more than one wife.
In 1935, Himmler created the SS Lebensborn program, meaning fountain of life. Lebensborn was designed to facilitate the birth, housing, and raising of as many pure Aryan babies as possible. Himmler's program was documented by actual images of Lebensborn babies.
The SS Lebensborn was providing conditions whereby young girls could in fact be served by SS studs. He suggested that young Aryan girls in Germany who hadn't been able to find a boyfriend or a husband need not forego the pleasures of motherhood.
According to Lebensborn doctrine, an illegitimate child was no disgrace, as long as the mother was genetically fit. Women were thought to have only one function, to breed the children whose offspring the Nazi Party believed would become gods. An estimated 11,000 Lebensborn babies were bred between 1935 and 1945. Most of these children never knew their parents. The SS Weekly newspaper declared, "Only when the number of cradles constantly exceeds the number of coffins can we look forward with good cheer to a better future." The babies of Lebensborn immediately became property of the state. Some were raised at Lebensborn homes, while others were adopted and raised by SS families. During the war, children with Aryan appearance were abducted from conquered nations and sent to Lebensborn homes in Germany. Nazi records indicate that 200,000 Polish babies alone were kidnapped and placed in Lebensborn homes, where they received careful training in every aspect of Nazi culture and mythology. Long before Hitler came to power, these beliefs were flourishing against an already racist backdrop. There were many organizations in Germany and Austria around the turn of the century which blended racist ideology with occult practices. But their ideas became popular only at the conclusion of World War I. The once mighty empire of Germany had been disarmed and at the mercy of the victorious nations after the First World War. In formerly wealthy cities, disabled veterans haunted the streets like ghosts from another lifetime.
Somebody who grew up in Berlin in the 20s remembers anything. He remembers the urban landscape with cripples from the First World War, who of course had no pension, no nothing, who begged on the street without legs and arms, who remembered the great misery of what you might call the urban landscape.
Millions were unemployed. Inflation was rampant. Recession, starvation, and poverty were everywhere.
I saw many demonstrations before Hitler came to power. Real demonstrations which arose from the suffering of the people, the mass unemployment and therefrom deriving poverty. And they were shouting slogans like, give us bread, give us work.
People looked for a scapegoat. Fear and distrust of foreigners intensified. Both ends of the political spectrum made a bid for the loyalty of the German people. After serving with distinction in the First World War, Hitler was stationed in Munich, where it was his job to infiltrate left-wing organizations for the army. One assignment changed the course of his life. He infiltrated an organization that was a backroom political club called the German Workers' Party. But far from being the communist organization that its name implied, the party turned out to be extremely right-wing. Hitler liked what he heard, joined, and eventually became leader of the organization. Attending an early rally where Hitler spoke was a disillusioned war veteran named Rudolf Hess.
He came back taking 3 steps by one jumping up and said, I saw one this evening, he's going to bring back Germany to the recommendation it had before the war, and this is the only man who was able to do it.
Hess was convinced the dynamic orator he heard was the long-awaited Messiah, prophesied in German occult circles. With racist philosopher Alfred Rosenberg, Hess was a supporter of one of the more prominent groups, the Thule Society, which actively sought a Germanic Messiah and was dedicated to the revival of the so-called Aryan master race. Members practiced astrology, sun worship, and other occult sciences, thinking that this would help them reach their goal.